Taco Tuesdays? No more. Taquito Tuesdays have took over. A corn tortilla that is filled with a really good spicy chuck roast that has been cooked down so tender it falls apart. Come on, because we're fixing to fry them. Taquitos. Now, I know you've seen them down there in the frozen food section when you're walking down through there and you open that little deal and there's a box that says Don Jose Taquitos.
And they're pretty good.
They are. They're not bad. We have eaten a lot of them. But folks, let's talk about taquito a minute, because really, when you look at the term, it translates from Spanish to rolled taco or small taco. Now, a lot of people get that mixed up sometimes with a flauta. But a flauta is more usually going to be a flour tortilla, to where a taquito is corn, and flautas mean like flute-like. People argue still today, where did it originate? Well, they say some of the vendors down there in the streets of Mexico many years ago used to make these in the early 20s because they were a grab-and-go food. You could just grab one by your hand, go ahead and eat. But really, a lot of folks say, no, San Diego, California. Back in the 1930s and 40s, there was a guy who had a tortilla factory, and him thinking, you know, I could target the younger generation of people by making these taquitos, because there's something that I think they would like better than a taco. So whether it's in Mexico City or San Diego, y'all can argue, but today I'm doing them in camp, and they're going to be better than all them folks. You know, before we get started on this episode, I'd like to have a big congratulations out to Martha. Let's give her a big round of applause. She has won the $100 gift certificate from Marriott. And folks, y'all ask me a lot of questions about, hey, what kind of boots do I wear? What shirt do I wear? It's always what I prefer, and that is Marriott. And Martha, I hope you find something you really like, sugar. So let's talk about the filling that goes in these taquitos. It is what? A chuck roast is what I'm using today, because folks, I think really when you get a good chuck roast, you have a lot of really good lean meat to a fat ratio that is just right. So when that is all cooked and tender, it's going to be oh so good. But the first thing I need you to do is, if you're going to do this in a crock pot, get it out now. Plug it in, okay? And we're going to add a little beef broth to there. Put it in there. That way we're letting that stuff all warm up while we're getting ready. Now let's lay that chuck roast out there, and let's get some of our good original seasoning, and let's season it pretty heavy, both sides, on the sides, everywhere. Because remember folks, a lot of times a piece of meat is under seasoned. So make sure this big old, and it probably weighed 2.5 to 3 pounds. And that's going to probably make 18 to 20 taquitos, depending on how much meat you want to put in there. You want to always put the liquid in there first, so you're not pouring over the top and washing all the seasoning off. So lay your chuck roast down in there, and then we're going to use our taco seasoning, our chili seasoning, and some green chilies, and lay in there a little fresh ground oregano that you just crumble all up in there. Put the lid on it. I like to let it go on high for about maybe 4 hours, and then I'll turn it down to low and let it finish to where when you reach a fork in there and pull it up, it just falls apart. Then you just take them forks, shred it all up, you're ready to go. Just set it over here and leave it aside, or you can let it cool, put it in the ice box, and you can use it the next day. So whenever you do, just make sure that you bring it back to room temperature and you warm it up good before you start putting the filling in them taquitos. Speaking of chuck roast, if y'all want to bring out even some more flavor, we have a smoked chuck roast video that you can see. There'll be a link right up there above to where you can bring out even more flavor to a taquito. So folks, I need you to find you some corn tortillas, and right out of the package, if you was, in fact, we'll just do a little demonstration. If you was to try to roll, look here, you just try to roll them up cold, oh, it becomes a treat for the puppies. So we got to warm them things up, and then you need to keep them warm till you get them all done. So I like to wrap mine in something. You can use tinfoil, whatever, but try to keep some moisture on them. Try to get them to where they stay, to where that wind ain't gonna dry them out. If you're outside in the kitchen, I hope it's not windy. Get you a cast iron skillet or a griddle, whatever you gotta have, but let's just go to warming some of these up. It don't take long to get them warm to where they're pliable and roll. We gotta have them that way to where they'll hold that meat in there. But when you get these all made and you get them fried up, you can actually let them set on a wire rack, cool them off really well, put them in a baggie, put them in the freezer. What do you got? You done got Don Jose in the box all beat, because you didn't have to go to the store. You can just reach in there and get them. So let's go with the assembly line. And I am sure ready, because I ain't had no breakfast this morning. So we're going to start, and we hope that these are still warm if we can find out where they're at. If you can just sort of lay it out here in the center to where it's pretty close to that right there, and I would say that's not much more than maybe a tablespoon, maybe two. But we got to roll them up. You want to get a tuck and roll, remember them deals, to where you just come around, try to keep it as tight as possible. And then what happened to them? The toothpick. Then just pierce them right through there. I like to do this here. Get you a little meat if you have to. We got to seal up that shell to where everything is good. Just keep packing in there, because when you do that, you're stopping that grease that we're shallow frying in from going all over everything. So I just like to pack the pistol, make sure it's loaded well. We'll get back to stuffing and we'll be good to go. There's an odor coming here that ain't meat. I think Duke has found him one of them black and white strapped cats out here called a skunk somewhere. So Duker will probably get to see a bath sometime today. Got that fry oil on about a medium high. We're looking pretty shallow. You see me about that deep, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't have one of them thermometers to let me know how hot it is. Remember that one that tore up? He gonna be a guinea pig. Just let him sit in there a minute, see how long does it take him here. You can see he's really dancing and doing a little jig here, and he gonna get crispy pretty quick. So just guessing, I would say we're running pretty close to 350, but let's have a peek just so we'll know, okay? Boy, Duker, you are smelling like skunk, buddy. Whew! There is 359 right there. So folks, I would say we are good, because you want things to sizzle when they get there, because this doesn't take very long. We just want that good crispiness to come out. So let me get over here and find these little fellers. And I don't want you to overcrowd the pool. I just want you to put about 2 in there at a time. If you're baking, put them on a baking sheet, preheat that oven, you can do that. It just don't take long, about 375 degrees at about 20 minutes. But I will show you a mistake that Kent made. You always want to put the crease side down in there first. This one wasn't that away. So, but I bet it'll eat, because you know what? I'll eat it. But you can see that brown color that's already come out of there. Folks, it don't take long at all. Okay, seam side down. Look at that goodness. It's be sort of like one of them crispy burnt ends on a brisket when you can get there. Sun is breaking over the barn. It is. Things is looking right. It's getting to be right time to what? Bite into a taquito. Now, that's shallow frying, folks. I really prefer that over the deep fry method, because really I probably had a little too much grease in there. It doesn't take very much, because you can just fry them, roll them around, or you see me take that spoon and you can just splash a little oil up there. And if you want to, but be oh so careful, you can take that toothpick out after you get that seam that's sealed up. It's sort of like going to the cleaners and they mash that steam machine down on your britches, you know, everything is sealed just right. So folks, you can eat these just like that, and I have eaten many of them. Now, them taquitos that you get at the store, I will say one thing for Don Jose. His are like a pencil. Mine have got some substance to them. I mean, you got to have that. Y'all know Cowboy Kent Rollins is not going to provide y'all a snack when you could be having a meal. That's what I'm talking about. You can dip them in sour cream. You can dip them in anything you want to. Me, I'm just going to take some of our salsa, and I'm looking for that crunch. I'm looking for a Taquito Tuesday. No more Taco Tuesdays. I want taquitos. They be good. I like taquitos. You know I would. Come here. And I want y'all to see this. See this face? See these little paws? You got stuff on you, Mage. Oh, and you got a grass burr. The star of the show is that chuck roast. Seasoned up so good, and it's got just a little bit of a bite in it, not much. The puppies didn't get a bite. They can't have the spicy meat, but Big says, we could have a little bit that maybe had some of that there fried up in it. There is the Mage. Stinky Duke is over there, and I don't know where Sadie's at. Folks, this is so easy. You get the kids in there, help you make these. This can be tailgate food, this can be snack food, this can be anytime. You can have them for breakfast, crack an egg over the top of them, you're ready to go. But just don't forget, bring the family together, that's what it's about. Cook some of these up and share them, okay? But as always, and it is with great privilege and honor, that I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and all the veterans who have kept that old flag flying no matter where we're at. But for the rest of y'all, I want to tip my hat to y'all too. Y'all are mine and Shan's family. You mean something to us, and that's what it's about, because y'all let us in your living rooms, your cell phones, your computers, your TVs. We ain't hacked it yet, but you better look out. But no, we appreciate each and every one of you every time watching one of our videos. God bless you all, and I will see you down the I Make the Best Taquito trail ever.